세러데이 쇼다운 젠지 스포츠 대 T1.
Maybe the second one if Bro want to get a little spicy. Or even DNS, but it feels like DNS are still struggling to find their footing, so it'll be interesting to watch that series in general. But we are jumping into the draft here for match number 1 as we get the classic bans for sure here to start.
Lucian ban going to come out instantly from D+, and this was what Gumayusi and Delight played Lucian Milio in the game they won last time these teams went head-to-head. Ezreal, so a lot of focuses towards the bot lane. A lot of focuses towards picks that have obviously done well for these players, and a lot left open. Rumble, Karma, and Orianna all available. Only 2 can be potentially banned here. And as much as HLE have first choice of those, if there's so many OP picks open, D+ have the opportunity to get more than 1 on their rotation. We'll see how it ends up going.
I'd say ban Rumble just because, you know, Zeus probably going to have to pick, you know, one of the standard blind pick tops, being first pick in this game, and you know, you don't want to leave 3 OPs open as first pick because then obviously you give over 2.
Yeah, so D+ ban Nocturne because they don't want to go against Orianna Nocturne, but don't want to ban either Orianna or Karma and then give the other 2 HLE. So now HLE have a choice which one they want to prioritize here. Do they want the Orianna, which has been super strong, or do they want the Karma? There's still things like Jhin Karma available. We know Gumayusi is a fantastic Jhin, but instead they opt to go for the Orianna. And that leaves D+ in this position where they can go for the Karma themselves. There's still Ashe Seraphine available, but we've seen the Karma be very heavily prioritized.
Yeah, I mean, UCal playing the Orianna for Team DRX yesterday was able to take a win. I think that Orianna is just too strong, even individually. And Ezreal's bans, I mean, there are a lot of great lanes that you can go.
And like Caitlyn, Jhin.
With the Karma, as you were saying.
But I think taking the Jarvan is important, because with Nocturne gone especially, Jarvan's one of the best pairings with Orianna. It also puts some threat, if HLE do want to go Ashe Seraphine, that you have that lockdown that you can't deal with within a mobile pick. Are they going to pick Karma up here? And then they have third pick to solidify an AD carry alongside it. Or will they go in a different direction? We've seen Ashe Seraphine Jarvan be really strong. So they end up going for that instead and leaving HLE the option of going Karma themselves.
I think Karma lanes do really well into the Ashe Seraphine. Like, yeah, as a trio, Jarvan, Ashe Seraphine is very strong, but I think it's very risky to leave Karma open.
Is it just going to be K Karma here? Or are they going to go K Seraphine and try and deny it? I think I prefer the K Karma in general, and you should have an advantage in that lane in the 2v2. We'll see what they opt to go for, and it is just going to be that K Karma. D+ going to take Seraphine on 3. And then I think D+ probably going to ban Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao with Karma and Orianna sounds insane, so they'll likely get rid of that. And HLE have the opportunity to trim away some of Showmaker's mid lane picks. Right now, with having the Orianna, you already feel in a really good spot, but if you could take away things like the Rise, that'd feel pretty good. Maybe even the Azir.
Yeah, I wonder how much weight they give towards Deadfire Touch champions. You know, is a Cassiopeia ban ever a thing? I don't think so when you have Orianna already.
It's crazy because Rise, I expected the priority to drop with the Phase Rush being gone, but they've been loving Deathfire Touch Rise. And especially into a lane that is tricky like an Orianna, you have a bit more power in your trades early on. So, could see that being a look in. They instead go for the Gnar here. Obviously, D+ not only have first choice when they come out of bans, but also counter pick available to Shu if they want to lean into that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they want to get rid of some of these big ones, as it is going to be Naafiri that actually does get banned away. Naafiri definitely good at dodging stuff. Not the most obvious ball carrier, though. We
did see Kanavi Zeka play Naafiri Orianna into Smash and Korea's Ashe Seraphine. That was game 1 of the road to EWC, and you know, Kanavi Zeka did very well on that combo. Victor going to come through as a ban, just taking away one of those control mages from Showmaker. We expect his pick here. Does he go There's like Ryze, Annie, Azir, Aurora. There's a lot of mid lane options. That is not one we'd expect.
That is not a... hello?
Okay, well, I guess...
That is Zyra. You know, Zyra's probably pretty good with Deathfire Touch.
Yeah, I would say so.
So this has got to be some like special kind of CV Max cooking up something weird here, because a lot of teams trying to find answers for the big meta picks, and maybe this is their answer for Orianna. I don't think you could flex it into top, although I would imagine that Zyra into Sion would be pretty fun.
Showmaker did play it in solo queue and went... He actually went Comet that game, but did go Blackfire Torch and Shadow Flame and Rocket Belt. And he did play that into Orianna. So we'll have to see how it performs here. Lee Sin comes out for Kanavi. The Sion gives a lot of solid front line. And D+, considering what they want, playing into the Sion, I feel like you kind of have free reign in terms of what you want to pick, but a bit difficult to have enough pressure to really shove him out the game.
Aurelia. Alawi. Is he going back to it? No, he's just going for Aurelia into Sion. Now, we've seen Aurelia not into Sion.
Yeah, to me, the situations when you expect to see Aurelia come out in the LCK is into range champions, because I feel like she gets on top of them, has kill pressure. We've seen it into Jace, and especially if you gank it, it can be a really suffocating matchup for the Jace. Sion doesn't feel like the sort of champion where you're going to have that same level of success. Will she be able to shut him down and get him out of the game to the point where he doesn't just become an absolute beefcake? I think HLE have a lot of power and a composition we can expect any day of the week when we come into the LCK. D+K definitely spicing things up. The bot lane in the jungle is standard, but the Zyra, the Aurelia, the solo lane is going a little bit different with those.
Yeah, Oxy, you mentioned there was a big patch that came in. You were expecting more changes. The LCK generally a bit resistant to change. And then D+Kia plays, and all of a sudden, we get Zyra and Aurelia. So, not sure if this is exactly what you were asking for. But we are going to get some spice here in game number 1. Showmakers Zyra here for this first one, up against Humalife Esports as we hop onto the Rift. And here we go, match 65.
I'm looking through, and I found 4 games where I played Zyra mid in solo queue, and 3 of them were against Orianna. So it definitely feels like he's preparing this as a counter, which makes sense given how dominant Orianna has been. It's been something that's constantly been banned or first picked, so having a pick that you feel like you can match up into it makes sense. He has gone Comet. There was a game where he tried out the Deathfire Touch, but opted to go for Comet, and Comet was also changed when we had the new patch. So it used to be that when you hit spells, you would reduce the cooldown of Comet. Now that doesn't happen, but the damage is boosted based on the distance it travels. And obviously Zyra is someone who can hit people at such a long range. You have the root to set up as well, so the Comet has the potential to do a good amount of damage.
Yeah, I also feel like Zyra and Ashe Seraphine, if you are keeping your distance from the Orianna, she's really going to struggle, right? And if you can land a bunch of these long-range abilities like a volley and then a root and then a Zyra ult and a Seraphine ult, Orianna doesn't really get to play the game too much. And I think individually as well, Zyra can fulfill that role in this matchup.
We also don't often see Zyra with that much gold because so often we see her support. But even in the support role, that champion just does insane amounts of damage. So with some gold behind this pick, Showmaker will for sure be pumping out the damage.
Yeah, and as you can see down here in the bottom lane, you know, generally in our games, we just take a look at the bottom lane for, you know, 5 minutes straight. But we have a lot of interesting picks in this one. But this is kind of what we expected down on the bottom side. Definitely expected this Karma alongside of the Caitlyn to really be putting on the pressure, and the Ash Seraphine does not get their normal lane pressure.
Yeah, and I think one big turning point of this matchup is level 6. Importantly, Gumayusi's gone barrier, which gives you more lane pressure. You can use your barrier to trade HP, but doesn't have cleanse available. And that means getting pressure pre-6 with the barrier feels a lot better. Post-6 though, when Smash gets the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, when Korea gets the Encore, if you think about what they get in return, the ultimate for the Caitlyn, hard to use in the middle of a fight. You don't always get value from it. And Karma obviously doesn't get too much value other than amping up her ult.
Shu doesn't really have mana, but he's going to land the stun. Into it, flashes the stun of the Scion and just dies. Sits down Shu in the top lane.
Yeah, I don't think that's really how you want the matchup to go for the Aurelia.
You don't say.
Not panning out exactly as hoped.
It's a slow onto Guma.
Some good trades in return.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me, remember when we had when Gwen was super strong?
Yeah.
And it was Kingen who brought out the Diana into it.
Yeah.
And got solo killed in lane and then was just, it was unplayable.
There's a lot of pressure coming in here. This is what this combo offers.
Oh.
Smash getting netted as well. Guma and Delight playing this excellently. And, I mean, they looked like they were in a bit of a roughy, toughy spot.
Oh,
but instead, yeah, the Peacemaker, now the volley comes in.
Yeah, Gumayusi still has barrier, so even though he looks extremely low, has that bit of a safety net.
And it's barrier advantage as well, because Smash used his. Ah! Career from miles away!
Dies to the
down
Scorch.
Guma.
It must have been Scorch, I think, that finished him off in the end. I think Gumayusi just caught off guard, didn't expect it.
I thought it was Airy.
No, I think Airy hit and then he died after that.
I want to see that replay. Oh, no.
Well, we'll get this replay first. The thing is, here she was already lower in HP. And tanking a lot of minions in this situation. Also runs out of mana. Doesn't have mana for the Q at the end.
Oh. Wow.
And here, so I think from the timing, because the ability hits from Kriya, then Airy comes, and then he dies after. So I think it's Scorch that killed him.
So Shu's dead again, by the way. Delight was up here. It did look like the two of them were very low once again in the trade, but we'll have to hop into another replay to see this one. But yeah, this is, again, not how you want your Aurelia lane to go.
Yeah, I mean, losing the 1v1 doesn't feel good, but the thing is with Aurelia, you are vulnerable to these ganks. It's so much harder to gank a tanky Scion, whereas Aurelia kind of has to play on the wave, play up, play aggressively. If you're strong enough to 1v2, that is kind of your defense against ganks, but obviously having already gone down a kill, isn't really much room to navigate things now. Do you see both junglers showing up bot here? Both bot laners do have flash on both sides.
Yeah, just kind of posturing. We are going to see the Sonic Wave land. Kanavi does go in, and he's Lee Sin, so gets a little bit of harass, essentially, and then backs away. And Career already pretty low down here. Root's going to come down, and already the poke is landing.
Yeah, the Karma route is so threatening in this 3v3 because there's the Sonic Wave guaranteed if it lands, there's the trap that can come through as well. So D+ being a little bit wary. You gotta remember, Smash and Kraid don't have the ult yet. That is the big power spike. So I think opting into this 3v3 is a mistake.
It's a lot of damage into Lucid. Flashing to get Kanavi in tower range. He's gonna take a bunch of damage too. Stepping on a trap is Lucid. But the HLE member's also getting pretty low.
Yeah. Lucid having the flash out there. Well played by Kanavi not to overcommit there after the flash brought him under the tower. But I think D+ trying to leverage a point where they don't really have that much strength. Now Showmaker, not the easiest champion to gank. I think he just used his...
So this is KTA's 0 versus KTB's Ryu.
That's a lot of days.
In 2013.
That's a lot of days.
2013. How old were you in 2013, Ox?
I was 17.
Yeah, 17 turning 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Guma is going to have to barrier here, but this is Ash, so kind of difficult to get away from this one. The vision's there. Flash available for Smash. He doesn't even use it. Guma just hiding on Bush and just dies as there was a ward there. So unfortunately, he does get caught out by Smash.
That ward being there, that setup really helping out. And remember, Guma usually doesn't have cleanse. Was hoping that have enough of an advantage in lane before 6 that you'd be okay without it. Now here, it's kind of what I mean. You have to play aggressively on the Aurelia. The light turns up. You already don't have flash. Just a free kill for Zeus. And top side of the map not going well for D+, but here we see Smash lands the ult there. Gumishi trying to use the lack of vision in the brushes, but Smash has a ward for the first one. Hawk shots for vision in the second, and the third one, there's already a ward down there. So at no point does he lose vision off the Caitlyn, and just able to run him down with the slows.
Yeah, definitely playing on a knife's edge there was Guma. Tried to utilize the net to get out of range, but that one auto clipped him, and then that just made hitting the ult even easier for Smash. Does look like mid. You know, we did see Showmaker push in a wave, but Zeka's still ahead on farm, so in terms of that the 1v1 in mid lane, Showmaker isn't putting on a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah, I think ultimately playing the Zyra, in, like Orianna is such a strong lane, I think if you're holding your own, I think Showmaker, it's still fine. It's not like a lane where you feel like you need to get an advantage. Zyra is going to have good value in the team fights. Now we see Lucid leaning down towards the bot lane. Ults, in terms of the Cataclysm, the Enchanting Crystal Flower, and the Encore, having all three of those available just puts so much threat onto a flashless Caitlyn, so Kamishi has to be careful. You see Showmaker does have a good amount of pressure, being able to get a couple of plates in the mid lane. Pushing power that Zyra is there.
That stun not going to work against the charging Scion. Zeus, though, kind of runs out of mana. And he does push Xiu out of lane, and Xiu doesn't have TP. Zeus has level advantage, TP advantage. He basically is owning the top lane right now.
You know, I can see the theory behind the Zyra, and you know, it was cool to see Showmaker lock it in. I can see the theory behind it. It's gone pretty well so far, you know, getting those plates. I don't really get the thought process behind the Aurelia into the Scion in this situation, so obviously things did go wrong, right? Maybe it could have been different if he had found that solo kill, but yeah, he's just falling behind. We so often see Scion, you know, a little bit behind on a lane, but just scale up to be a monster, so it doesn't matter. You have 1,000 gold lead on Zeus right now. This Scion is going to be a problem. Already is a problem. Going to be more of a problem. So C+ have to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah.
I do think that the Zyra does have a lot of tank damage. You know, Showmaker probably going to go Leandries at some point as well.
Yeah.
He's also, you know, he's playing the, production was saying, he's playing the SKT skin, just Pumandu skin, who's on their coaching staff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice little shout out.
That's really cool to see. Especially with so much history behind the last time we've seen Zyra in the mid lane, as now Guma in a lot of trouble, gets hit by the Encore, and he is just dead for the third time. No flash. He knows that barrier isn't going to help, so gets hit by the arrow, and from there he's just dead.
Yep, this is really where this trio has come online, and a flashless AD carry with no cleanse is a sitting duck for D+. 0-3-0 now for the Caitlyn. And Caitlyn's one of those AD carries, especially you're playing Caitlyn Karma, you want to have won lane. You want to have come out ahead. And that's definitely not the case with how things are right now.
Delight will be okay here. Just trying to hold the wave as much as possible, keep Guma in this game. And, you know, on the side of D+ Kia, it does look like they're trying to bully Xiu here a little bit more. And Xiu does go in and immediately just dies.
Oh, the minion block?
Shields. Scion could have tanked like 8 more of those Sturge.
Yeah, I mean, he's giga tanky, so it didn't matter, but you could see he was a little awkward there, trying to get out. Oh, no.
So we're hiding on Bush, and this does look like Guma's just going to die again. He doesn't have his flash, wouldn't have helped anyway, and they're just going to try to give this kill to Lucid. I thought they would give the kill to Smash. Even Jonah Strong thought they would give the kill to Smash, but not meant to be.
This definitely feels like, you know, a mistake happened, right? Ultimately, Guma did die early, Xiu did die early, but both teams have sensed blood in the water. Oh, Showmaker's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. No flash available for him, and he's just down.
But it feels like both teams have smelled blood in the water and are just unrelenting in how they are abusing the side laners who are in an uncomfortable position. Shiwu's been targeted again and again. Gumishi's been targeted again and again. And both teams just trying to snowball off the back of that. Now, HLE also get a kill mid onto Showmaker with good setup from Delight. And Zeka gets some time to actually hit the turret. The turret does hit back, though, if you're quick.
You gotta be careful about that. Lucid's pretty strong at this point. Has that as the arrow, unfortunately, is going to miss. Not expecting the stun, but now Kanavi able to hop away. Kanavi getting pretty low. The volley, not able to be dodged. That is the shutdown to Lucid. Looking for more. Zeka flashes away. And he will be okay here, but getting deep into that DK jungle is not gonna work out for HLE.
So you think about the fact that that play went well for D+. They ended up coming out ahead of it. They got the kill. Both of the E's from Korea, the potential route into stun missed, the arrow missed. Like, if those skill shots had connected for D+, that could have been even worse for HLE. So the fact they only lost one member, I think they kind of got away with a lot more than could have happened otherwise. They do lose a lot of summoner spells, though, but the same can be said for D+.
Yeah, and if you look at who's got the golds on these two rosters, the Scion being super fed, I don't feel like it's going to be a huge issue. Obviously, it's very nice for Zeus and to have that brick wall in front of you, but they have the Zyre on the other side. I feel like there are ways to handle the Scion, whereas Lucid and the bot lane being ahead is pretty nice. I do think that for D+ Kia, having no top laner is really bad and is not going to help out. That's a nice little stun, but we got Kanavi on the way here as well. The damage has already been done, and there's Kanavi for the cleanup. That'll be death number 4. As now looking to help out their top laner finally. It does look like Kanavi is not in a great spot either. As, yeah, they're going to give this kill over to Smash this time. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Showmaker being bullied by Zeus and is trying to run away from this one.
I think he gets him. Oh, so close. If that Roar the Slayer hit, I think Showmaker's just dead, so able to kite that one out. Yeah, so we're seeing some struggles from Shiwu. As much as Gumishi's behind, he can still put traps down.
Yeah.
And that ult, it was a good sidestep from Gumishi, but that feels so bad for Shiwu. As an Aurelia, playing into, a pretty behind Caitlyn, you can definitely see the windows, but if you don't connect the skills, and obviously being behind himself, it's just not really going to amount to much. Now here, honestly, Zeus kind of pathed backwards briefly. Maybe if he'd pathed ahead and stayed ahead of Showmaker, that could have just been a kill.
Yeah. Especially because you know exactly what Showmaker's going to do next. Like, he's going to drop the circle. He's going to drop the ult, so you just kind of want to get ahead of it if you're looking for the kill.
He's going to run to tower as well.
Yeah.
It's so... I mean, still putting a lot of pressure down, but maybe the angle for the kill was there. Now, Dragon's up and available. They're looking for Kanavi.
Yeah, no Sonic Wave here. He's down a level to Lucid, who is very powerful. The kick does come in, but there's the Encore catching two! And that will be the kill on a Kanavi, and Lucid is just destroying them right now. Double kill as they look for the kill on a Guma, but just feeds the kill over to Guma and gets him back in the game, but the DK bottom lane super fed at this point.
Yeah, nice influx of gold for Gumayusi there, but overall it's still a winning play for D+. Even with Lucid stepping a bit too far. Mid tower going to go down as well. And it just feels like this trio is so strong on the bottom. Oh, Shiwu.
Yeah. No delay, no deny on the TP. Shiwu's like, well, I might as well try to go for the play, as at least he avoids the shockwave with this flash.
Zeus playing that one really well, setting up the decimating smash to be ready, because he knew she was going to try and look for the squish of Orianna. Now, Showmaker going to get some more plates. That's kind of been his thing. This game is getting plates. We see the mid lane play, so Lucid's ahead of Kanavi. Kanavi's already low, and having the backup of the Ashe Seraphine just gives you so much confidence here. The ult from Korea is great. And so I think Lucid here was thinking, if he Qs, it might be enough damage if he can E after. Guma still had flash, so I think he should have just cut the play earlier and accepted you weren't going to kill him. Ended up getting baited in there. Now here, she was trying to make something of it, has the passive stacked up. But that decimating smash from Zeus, he just keeps channeling it. He dashes back in for the Orianna and just instantly gets knocked up.
Yeah. As you see HLE as a team, they're able to get the Dragon and also go up top and take the Rift Herald away. So I think that was started by D plus Kia. And they're just like, no, all of the objectives are ours, actually. We have our Scion here. Xiyu still not really a champion at this point.
Yeah,
So,
I think we've seen... Oh, Ara coming in. Oh, close one.
yikes. Oh, that's going to be the Grove stolen. Because Lucid is really making Kanavi feel it in this game. Here we go again. He is going to land that slow. Xiyu does not really do damage to the Scion right now, as he doesn't really have anywhere to go. That's going to be another bit of damage coming out from Zeus, just hitting him over and over as the roar comes out into the queue. And it's another kill. That'll be death number 6 for Xiyu, as now, once again, we got more action up in the top side. As that encore this time not going to land, but Kanavi is being slowed up, and oh, a bunch of hits actually come out from the Ashe from very far away, but still, he is able to get out as the Lee Sin that he is.
This game just feels so hard to judge exactly where the teams are, because D+ is obviously getting a lot of success around their jungle and their bot lane, but Xiyu is just dying on repeat. He's just chain dying, and that really puts a spanner into things. But I think D+'s plan is just, let Xiyu farm the side lane, and we'll just win on the rest of the map. Showmaker's just taking towers. I feel like that's been his game plan so far. Push waves, take towers. It interestingly just feels like different members of D+ are playing different games. It feels like the jungle and bot lane are linked together. Showmaker's killing towers, and Xiyu is just dying. That is literally how it's going.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even though Guma obviously fell really far behind and has 4 deaths, you've still seen him find ways to be useful. Like he set up the kill on the Xiyu, he was able to turn the kill around on the Lucid. Even though he's behind and that's not ideal, you can still see the value when you're comboing with the traps from other people's CC. Xiyu has just not managed to be useful at all yet. He's struggling. He's trying to find a way back into the game, but it is not going well. He's 2 levels down on Zeus right now. Trying to do the Krugs, and Zeus is like, I don't know about that, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, this is part of the reason why we don't see stuff like Aurelia in the top lane very often, especially in the LCK, is that it's risky. You fall behind into a Scion or into anything, but especially into a Scion, you just have 0 kill threat. You're already behind. And Aurelia from behind just feels very rough. Like you were saying, Guma's behind, but at least he's still Caitlyn. Like he can put down traps. There are other members that are fed that can deal damage. He's eventually going to scale up, and Aurelia can as well, but it feels like he's too far behind. Nice kick here from the side of Kanavi, looking for Lucid, looking for the shutdown as the TP behind is going to be good. They get the jungler, and the Baron spawns in their face. They're just going to start it up here.
Yeah, especially with Sion the tank, this feels so safe. Is Xiyu going to TP in? They are TPing in the Zyra, and the Zyra ultimate gets a ton of value in a Baron pit. They need to get that quickly.
They're all so healthy. I mean, yeah, they can just have the Scion tank it forever as in goes Xiyu. He's jumping around and doing a lot of cool things, but does he actually do damage? The answer is absolutely not, as Delight's going to go down.
They're trapped.
And Guma goes back into the pit trying to help out the team, as they're going to try to just get Zeus and Kanavi in front and hope they can taxi their way out. As Smash, Guma's going to get in the Rift Herald, and he gets away because of that. Lands the knockup as the shockwave goes wide, but they're going in on a Smash, takes him down, and they get career. A Showmaker nowhere to run, as he is going to try to flash away. Lucid does come back as he hops over the Scion stun, but now he's just being kited out. Gives Guma another kill, Guma on a streak, and HLE sit the whole team of DK down at the Baron.
Such a massive team fight win for HLE, getting the Baron, getting so many kills off the back of that. And I think D+, with them trapped in the pit, felt confident. We can slow play this. We can just poke them down. HLE did not let that happen. We see here the Blast Cone allowing Kanavi to chase down Lucid here. But I think he'd gotten a bit overconfident. So many times he's just been able to challenge and have the back of the Ashe Seraphine. Now here, this doesn't feel great for HLE being trapped in the pit against the Zyra, the Ashe, the Seraphine. But Xiyu goes in, and she was so weak, he just kind of gets focused down and dies. Guma dashes over the wall, but then says, you know what? We can fight this, I'm coming back in. And they are getting poked down, they are getting harassed, but Zeus kind of leads the charge as a blocker. Kanavi finds an angle, and then this Herald. Look how low Guma is when he picks this up.
Yeah.
But it allows him to leave the pit, lay a CC onto Smash with Zeus, and then obviously the Shockwave does miss, which is unfortunate, but the setup was already there for him to clean up these kills.
And it's just kind of ring around the rosy at the end of the day, but you can see Showmaker super low, really able to do anything. Lucid against 3, even though health targets is not going to be able to do anything as a Jarvan. And now Homalife Esports, after that gigantic play, they're just so handily in control of this game. I mean, what do you do as D+K now?
Hullbreaker picked up for Shiwu, so...
Oh boy.
To be fair, Zeus is very large, ship-like, you know, very hard to deal with, but I don't think the Hullbreaker is going to necessarily help you take him down. This is kind of the problem, right, is this Sion is so absurdly fed that it really just warps the game where he just stands there and soaks so much damage. Like, if you actually think about how long it would take for D+ to kill him, just a crazy amount of time, even with the fact they have Leandrews and Showmaker, Blade Ruin King on Shiwu. This front line from HLE feels a little bit unkillable, especially with the shields to back him up. And despite the really rough early game from Gumayushi, where he was focused out...
Don't do it, Oh,
no.
No.
Oh,
well,
the minions are Baron buffed, so...
Yeah, this time Zeus is going ahead of the wave, trying to catch up to him.
Oh, the minion...
Yeah.
Oh, nice dodge.
Yeah,
okay.
Nice dodge. That keeps him alive.
He will not die an 8th time, at least right now.
No reverse legendary here for Shiu, unfortunately. For Zeus, that is. Showmaker in a bit of trouble as the kick comes in right as the knockup's there. Kanavi misses a very simple Q, but the kill is still there. And Zeka does pick that one up.
Okay, well... Okay, something I didn't really want to say. You know how I was looking at a lot of these Zyra matches from Showmaker and solo queue? A lot of them seemed like they didn't go so well. But I don't think this game is on him, but I think the Zyra is struggling when getting run down by some of these more mobile picks. HLE going to continue putting pressure on this tower. There is engage from D+ if they want to make it happen, but they don't have a great flank ward for Shiu, and also, let's be real, the 0-7-0
Yeah, I don't think you want to bank on that one too much.
Yeah.
Just let him, like, farm mid or something.
He has the Hullbreaker for a reason.
Yeah. And Lucid, you know, he's still relatively tanky. He's kind of strong, but even Kanavi's ahead of him now. So a lot of that lead has been lost. Smash and Career's still ahead, but, you know, an Ashe that has to deal with Zeus.
And no LDR yet.
With no LDR, it's like, you're just never killing him, I don't think, even with the Zyra. I just don't think it's going to happen.
It would just take such a long time. He just warps the game so much, creates so much space. Yeah.
What if they had gone Trundle instead?
I mean, it'd be a lot easier to kill Zeus, I'll tell you that much. Even if Shiu was 0-7 on Trundle, which I don't think he would be, but you could still just ult the Sion, and that would be value at least.
Yeah. Just feels like, you know, maybe they wanted a third threat with the Ashe and maybe the Zyra, but this is just obviously not panning out very well.
Yeah.
So they're just pushing without Baron.
All of HLE have their flashes up, and you can tell D+ want to look for an engage angle. That's their recourse here. They have a lot of engage tools, but with Gumayushi having flash and with Delight having Mikhail's, it's a hard sell.
Yeah. I mean, I just took a look at the total gold difference in this one. It's not even that massive for this point in the game, but the actual game state is so favored
the tempo
to the
vibes,
side of HLE.
The tempo vibes heavily in HLE's favor right now.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's partially the fact that Shiu just hasn't been able to play the game. You know, like, he's behind 2,500 gold, but it just really feels like he's not going to have an impact for quite a while, so I feel like that's the main issue for sure.
You think the Aurelia being 0-7-0 is perhaps one of the issues? You know, this is very insightful, Brendan.
Yeah.
Thank you. I actually hadn't figured that out, so I'm glad you...
I was just putting on my Valdanalyst, you know, uniform there for a second. Really wanted to break it down.
I hadn't really factored that in, so I'm glad you highlighted it.
Yeah.
Easy to miss, I think, if you're not looking too carefully. He has been able to farm up in the side lane, at least.
It is Hextech Soul.
Yeah, that's not great for D+, because they are going to have to contest every dragon from here.
It could have been awesome if this was like an even game state for them. I mean, you have so much range, so much poke potential to land slows, to set up plays with Ashe, Zyra.
It would have been great if they got it. That's true.
Yeah. If this were, if this game had played itself out a little bit differently.
I think what we're looping back to is things would be better if they didn't have the 0-7-0 rally in the top lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
It certainly does play a little bit of a part.
Continuing to pressure in the side lane, and they are just trying to start Baron rather than contest him. Navi is soloing it at the moment, and the person tanking the Baron does half damage to it, so this is very slow. But he does have a bit of sustain, so he's not dropping too low right now. The rest of the team are kind of playing bouncer with the traps. Now Guma can hit it from over the wall. It's going to get a lot faster, and D+ have to respond.
Yeah, eventually you do have to go in on this one. Delight is just going to flash away, and they can't get their Zeus. I mean, they'll do it eventually, but it's just not going to happen in this era of League of Legends. Zeus still tanking, still with the massive shield as there is a massive encore on a 3. What was that? Korea! What are you doing? That was insane!
That was sick! Korea finds such a good angle, the combo with the solo laners, and suddenly HLE, who thought we have this unkillable Sion, we can't be dealt with, get caught off guard and crushed. And now for D+, you know, picking up towers here, picking up the dragon as well. The game feels far better than it did a moment ago.
What? Career is just that guy sometimes.
He just saw the line.
Sometimes he just makes one of the most insane plays. Zeka is just running into the river. He's just dead. Okay, so that's going to be the end of him. And now we're really going to put this to the test.
He kind of TP out.
Eventually, they will get him. You know, if you have 20 seconds, you can take him down. And so they're going to get the shutdown here, and they're going to get the dragon. DK are in the lead.
How quickly this game could just flip on its head. And it all came from one absolutely massive play from Korea.
You remember he had that Bard play as well, where it was like, oh, things are looking really rough, and then he like did the sicko play on Bard. I think it was against Gen G.
Yeah.
And it was like, he just saved the game. And now all of a sudden, he's doing it again.
It just feels like he has that clutch factor, you know, and it's something you can't really teach a player, but it just looks amazing when he finds these windows.
Kanavi, yeah, you got the red buff, but this Ashe is ginormous.
Yeah.
And you are not. You are dead.
You know, I think invading to steal the enemy's red buff 30 minutes in the game solo, perhaps not worth it. As you said, the Ashe is 5,000 gold ahead. Doesn't have full build, because obviously AD carries get the extra item slot, but a lot of items giving Smash a ton of power. Has Flash and Barrier available as well, so...
So, they might kill Shiu here, but honestly, like, who cares? Shiu could go 0-8 in this game, and DK might win. Does he kill Delight? I mean, no.
He's absorbing pressure, and you know what? He may be 0-8-3.
What a play by Shiu, honestly.
He may be 0-8-3.
What a bait.
If D+ win this game and take the Nexus, he can type top diff in all chat, and Zayas can't, and that is worth so much.
Really highlighting the importance of top lane in current LCK. Okay,
Oh,
just watch. Just watch. What?
I mean, the foresight for that...
He was screaming, just take it slow, take it slow.
The thing is, it kind of felt like they just came together at the last moment. Like, he saw the window before they had even, like, moved together. Such a good play from Korea. Definitely a highlight moment for him. And Smash, it takes him some time, but he is just able to pummel through this Sion. Showmaker getting the root down, which means Zayas can't just TP away. In situations like this, where they're surrounding the Sion and they have so much CC slows to keep him in place, you can see they will shred through him. It's been difficult in the team fights when obviously you don't have infinite time and control to shred him. But, I mean, now Smash is closing in on full build, doing a ton of damage. Showmake has Void Staff as well as the burn items.
Like, Guma came back into this game.
Yeah.
He was 0-4, and he built up a kill streak just based off of HLE, you know, kind of winning and utilizing the 5v4 situation when the Aurelia wasn't relevant. But he's still 5,000 gold behind just because Smash is that fed. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, they're trying to set something up here. And Zeus is like, I gotta get that career guy. I don't know what's gotten into him, but like, we gotta go for him. Does make a last-second turn, and now Shiu's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm playing payphone and I'm pushing the side lane with Hullbreakers.
Shiu is just chilling. He's just doing, you know, we see this a lot in solo queue, just the rage split when your lane's gone terrible.
Yeah.
It's the actual strategy here. You know, he is actually doing a lot of, he's contributing a lot of pressure by just being a threat in the side lane. But it is funny that you would get the exact same thing in solo queue if you had a 0-8 Aurelia top.
Yeah.
But he does back off here. Doesn't want to overpush until he dies. A minute 10 until that next dragon. But Baron's up at the same time. So this next fight could be a big one. 17-17 in the kill score. But neither team can secure soul from this. So it's kind of a delicate position. Because if you overcommit onto the dragon and give a Baron, you may never get to cash in and get that soul. But obviously, if the game does extend, Hextech Soul is pretty crushing if you're able to pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, at this point with an Ashe that's this fed with the Zyra, probably D plus Kia could do Baron in like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, something
flat.
we haven't really seen this game yet, but you know, is it often a thing with even support Zyra is how much damage he does to the neutral objectives. We often see ult thrown down to boost the plants. Just to melt it. So if there's any opportunity where HLE don't have control of the area, it can just be gone. And if we look at the map, there isn't that much vision over there. There's a very clear sort of cutoff beyond which HLE don't have vision. And Kanavi's trying to move in and contest this. Will he be shut down?
Yeah. Zyra also very good at controlling space, as that arrow is going to miss. There have been some critical arrows here from Smash that haven't exactly hit the mark.
Yeah, in fairness, Delight had Mikhail's, so it would have just burnt that and not necessarily achieved a kill, but that's still of value.
Some poke damage.
Yeah.
She was like, maybe now I can deal damage to the Scion. No, I don't think so. Maybe if he's alone for a very long time. Because, I mean, eventually the Scion, he's really tanky, but...
Lather King feels really good in the Scion.
Yeah.
And with enough time, I don't know, the Scion's still pretty strong. But to be fair, the goal difference isn't that big. If you look at the farm lead Shiu has been able to generate, he has just been farming the side lane. Oh, no.
Yeah, just going to avoid that stun, as now Shiu just trying to hop back. At least the smash is not going to hit. But with Zeka here, it does look like Shiu doesn't really have an option. He's going to go in on a Zeka, though, as there is the spin from Zeka, and he is going to get that kill. As now they're trying to force something here, but we got a TP coming in already from the side of Zeus.
Yeah, Arrow
putting a stop to that.
Thrown down again by Smash, and now T+ have 50 seconds until the top lane is back on the map. And HLE want to leverage their numbers advantage here and now. They look like they're moving towards the Baron. D+, do they contest? Or do they go for the consolation prize of the Dragon? Looks like they want to contest again. With this composition, there's a lot of threat when HLE in the pit, but they have to get in position, and these traps are blocking them.
Yeah.
And I think they might just end up going for the consolation prize.
Zyra's very good when she's on an objective, but so is Caitlyn. So just put up a bunch of traps, and eventually, you know, you're not going to make your way in. And so they will accept this Drake. So now for HLE, they really have to get value out of this Baron push.
Yeah, so short term, this favors HLE quite heavily. Long term, this has the potential to favor D+. But it really comes down to how much HLE can leverage this Baron. They've already done so much damage to the structures. Both teams have to be fair. No towers outside the base, and both lacking a single inhibitor tower. But we'll see if HLE can push up and make something of this. If they die here with these Baron buffs, even if the game doesn't end off the back of it, it's just going to feel so bad.
Shiu's hiding on bush. Arrow once again going to sail wide, and now Shiu just has to throw it down and try to get away, but he doesn't have flash. Has to go in, lands the double stun, and tries to set up something here for Career, but it's not going to happen. Career, no flash. He's just dead. And it looks like HLE might have broken the backs of D+ Kia. We'll see if they can push and end this game. Kanavi kind of in an awkward spot here. And Smash is still very fed. You can see that Zeus knows where their money is. And he looks for that Smash, and he does land it. Nice knock up here from Lucid, but he can't do it all alone as wow. Smash just gets smoked from the heavens and does die. HLE, doesn't matter what Career was able to do in this game. They are still going to win game number 1.
Gumayusi finishing with a score of 7-5-5 after being 0-4. Zeus was massive this game, but I think the clear thing was that we still saw the Caitlyn able to be useful later on, and that Aurelia was just never useful. Back and forth for sure, but like, you know, Gumayusi, we saw him really far behind in terms of damage compared to Smash at one point, able to do a bunch in that last fight. That's the thing with Caitlyn, is even though you can put her behind, she might not have that impact in the mid game.
이래 노플인데
걸었다네.
야 이래 볼만 돼 맞아
나 멀고 아직. 나 좀 멀다.
잡은 거 같은데?
나 일단 가는 중 뒤로.
이래 세라핀 너무 괜찮아 천천히 세라핀 봐줘 세라핀
가는 중. 빨려. 다시 해보자.
애쉬 풀 뺄게
아.
애쉬 노플 둘다
형 자이라도 풀이야. 자이라도 풀.
여기 위에 봐줘 봐도
기다려.
애쉬 자이로 노플 봐줄래? 애쉬
보자. 젓갈았어. 잡았어. 얘.
따라봐
자이라.
어우